Item number 18 is City Council reports from council members. First up is Councilmember Buckley.
I just want to take an opportunity to thank our the managers here in Yuba City for their efforts during negotiations and reaching contract agreements. And I was probably neglecting. Most of them have left the room and not saying it as they were here. I do want to recognize a couple different things just before I move off into some of the things that I was involved in. But you know, recognizing that our employees, there was a change in PERS that happened, and so we have a kind of a bi-level structure now with PERS to get some savings. Our employees gave up upwards of 18% in concessions in the past, and we're well aware of that, and especially as a council member, I'm well aware of it. And having been an employee with this city and been on furloughs, understand the implications of those. And I just want to thank the employees for the efforts that they're making as we move forward. It takes a lot of leadership to step out front and be the ones to say, we'll go first. And I applaud that managers group for that. Attended the City Employee Awards, where employees with 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and I think we had a 35.
There was one old guy, I think.
There he is.
Back there.
Really old. He started with Bill started with the city when he was like 4. And it's really kind of funny because I had to reflect back when I was sworn in as a police officer. Bill was there at the old city hall on Highway 20, that is now a private business and everything. But that's where that took place, and I just think, my goodness, the changes over time that you have seen here at the city. So thank you for your time. Also had a community meeting with members of the citizens. That I was with Mr. McIntyre over on Toyon and El Margarita. This was put together by Supervisor Jim Whitaker in response to some traffic issues. We're going to be working with that group, especially around the time that River Valley High School will be coming back into session, and looking at what we can do to impact some of the very aggressive driving that is going on in that area, and some of the safety issues to that neighborhood. So we'll continue to work with that, and I'll be working with the mayor in trying to come up with some of the solutions to that. Also attended the Children's 4th of July parade. Wow. Who all was there? That was, what an amazing event. All these little kids lined up, and the first ones in line were the Berries, and they arrived there at 7 o'clock in the morning to be able to be the first ones in line behind the mayor, who sang and led a complete version of Happy Birthday to America in front of the entire crowd of I don't know how many hundred. But with that also, our chief was absent, but not really, because his hot dogs were there. And his staff was there serving those hot dogs. I don't know how many, 400 you guys? 600 hot dogs you guys went through. And I didn't eat any hot dogs, so, you know, it just tells you that there were a lot of people at that event. But I appreciate everything you did in the department and the city to be able to put that event together. And that's all I have to report. Thank you.
Okay. Councilmember Ramon.
Some of the same events, the employee recognition, it was a great event to recognize the great employees we have and how long they've been with us. It's the employees that make the city great. So I also enjoy going to that event along with my fellow councilmen and recognize and show appreciation of our employees for their service. Went to the highway ribbon cutting. We attended a couple of them in the last few weeks, and I want to publicly thank the past city council members and past board of supervisors and thank them for their effort that we now pretty much have a 4-lane highway to Sacramento. Once they get rid of the Riego lights, it'll pretty much be nonstop from Yuba City to Sacramento. That's a huge accomplishment for those people that have been around for a while. It just seems to take forever, and but there's a lot of hard work and a lot and effort by a lot of previous elected people in our positions and at the supervisor level. Attended a housing authority meeting. Routine housing authority stuff going on. We're looking at our housing authority has become a regional housing authority. It used to be Sutter County Housing Authority, then it became Sutter Nevada Housing Authority, Sutter Nevada Colusa Housing Authority, and I think it's going to soon be Sutter Nevada Colusa Yuba Housing Authority. We're in negotiation with Yuba County to make them part of this housing authority. So Linda's doing a great job running that agency. Attended the Yuba Sutter Transit Authority meeting. We're working on negotiating a contract with the agency that runs, even though it's a local agency and the board makes up of the local council and the board of supervisors from the local jurisdictions, but the company that runs it and takes care of the almost 60 employees is a national agency, Viola, and the term was up, so we had 3 different international companies bidding for it, and that's something we'll be discussing at our next this Thursday to see who we're awarding that contract to. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, Councilmember Starkey.
I also had the opportunity to go to the recognition ceremony for the longevity at the Harvest Room, and I got to tell you that the staff did a wonderful job decorating the room and making it a very special event to recognize those people. I went to the installation of officers and directors for the Downtown Business Association. They've got a group of vibrant, excited people to help Plumas Street even get better than it is now. Went to the fire department badge pinning ceremony, which was pretty exciting. We got 3 newly appointed fire captains and a newly appointed battalion chief. We're pretty darn fortunate to have such a well-trained, competent, and caring group of people as firefighters in our community, and I think we're very, very lucky. And also, finally, congratulations to Councilman and former Mayor John Buckland for the addition to his family. And also for the birthday camping trip he took his wife on. They found out there was a railroad track right about 25 feet from where the campsite was. So that made it a pleasant evening. And that's about all I've got. Thank you.
Okay, Vice Mayor Dukes.
Well, I'll run through things quickly because a lot of these were mentioned by other council members. The annual awards recognition dinner, that was very good. The 4th of July parade, the ribbon cutting at Highway 99 and 113 interchange, the fire badge pinning ceremony, the DBA meeting downtown, and then also participated with the mayor at the swearing in of new citizens at Veterans Hall just before the 4th of July, and that's always a great event to welcome new citizens to our community that have gone through all of the proper steps to be here legally, and applaud what they do. And then over the past couple weeks have attended 3 different change of commands out at Beale Air Force Base, and I think we've got one left this week, and I think that's winding down of the change of command out at the base. But it's always it's double-edged because you say goodbye to people that you've gotten to know over the past few years, and then welcome new leadership to our community. So it's always a special time. Also attended the Sutter Buttes Flood Control meeting, mosquito vector meeting, and I think that pretty much has taken up most of my time over the past couple of weeks. So,
Great, thank you very much. I'm not going to bore you guys. Been attending a lot of the same meetings. Sometimes we feel like that's all we spend all day long, is from one meeting to the next, to the next, to the next. And I think my wife said, "Don't you really work?" So you try to juggle your time from one job to the other, but this is a job, full-time job as well, that we take on, but we do enjoy it. Obviously, we did have a Sutter Buttes Flood Agency meeting, and they are continuing to work on the levees in 4 different directions with the levee, and they're trying to work with the Indian groups for various reasons within that levee district, because we were known with the Maidu Indians coming across with that area. And one of the things that we did was we wrote letters to Senator Feinstein and Senator Boxer's office, because they played an instrumental role in helping move this levee funding along in the fast track. And so I believe tomorrow members of Senator Boxer's office will be here tomorrow touring the levee, so which is kind of nice, because when you go back to Washington, D.C., you talk about the Sutter Butte Flood Agency, and they all know exactly where it's at, because they've all worked together on this particular levee, so that's going to be kind of nice. Again, I do want to reiterate to all of our employees that, again, they are the backbone of the city of Yuba City. And like I reiterated earlier, is the city had faced uncharted territory in years to come, and we're still lagging behind within revenues, and we're always a year, 2 years behind. And with the unbudgeted expenses with PERS and with healthcare costs coming up, it's always difficult. You're always trying to balance the budget. And like I'd mentioned earlier too, is one of the things that we've got to take a look at, is have a plan of how do we balance this budget without kicking the can down the curb. And that's something that we're all wrestling with every single day. And we continue to have open negotiations and hopefully resolve this issue sooner than later. And then that's, like I've always said, is we're always going to be, always have been transparent to anybody who wishes to come in and see our numbers, where we are, what we can do differently. That's one thing that we're always here, and we're always open for that. So I do want to thank all of our employees. Like you mentioned, John, is that the Children's Day 4th of July parade, dynamite, awesome. If you haven't been there, it's kind of nice to see, because this is really the children's parade put on by the firefighters and the police officers. And Chief, thank you to your entire troops for cooking hot dogs. And the nice thing about it is, it's every single one of these kids come in, they line up. You should see them, how they decorate their bicycles, their wagons, and they're out there earlier. They decorate themselves in the red, white, and blue. The nice thing is we had our, I believe it's a Yuba Sutter Orchestra that was there as well, playing. And so if you wanted to just sit in the shade and listen to the orchestra for a while, so that's kind of nice. If you've never been there, I definitely encourage each and every one of you, just come and attend it for 1 year. And I guarantee you'll be hooked on it, where you'll be coming back over and over again. So with that, tonight I'd like to close this meeting in the memory of Mark Martin, who passed away, and he was a business owner on Plymouth Street, had the Yuba Sutter, or the Sutter Brewery there on Center Street. So I'm going to go ahead and close this meeting tonight in his memory. So with that, the meeting is adjourned.